This is probably all we need to do is talk on the phone and such. So, where are you now? I know you're in Portland, right?
I'm at my house in Portland. I don't have a house anywhere else. It's like not like I have a house in Hawaii too, but yeah, I'm at home right now.
And why do you think you don't have a house in Hawaii? Do you something you wanted to do but you couldn't do, or something that you might have done but you didn't want to do?
No, it's not something I have pretty basic needs, I'm really not much of a traveler. I'm kind of a homebody, so Portland works for me.
So this is the downtime because I know, and the big reason we have you on the show is because of the balloon art, your expertise, and your passion for ballooning and rubber. So tell me what it is that it does for you. Again, just to start off the episode, like what does it do for you to make a balloon animal?
Well, my favorite part about doing balloon art for a living, because I don't really consider myself a balloon man. I consider myself an artist entertainer guy. And so my favorite part is interacting with the people. I mean, I love talking with strangers and that job of, and I also love, let's be honest, I kind of love being the center of attention too. You're kind of that way.
Well,
And
certainly like to ham it around a little bit.
and so that it gives me this great creative outlet, and I get to meet wonderful people, and it's like I get to be in my element, it's but I'm almost 40 years into it. I made my first balloon in 1986. I mean,
And do you remember what that balloon was?
well, just getting it blown up. Back in the day, I used to blow them up by mouth, which that
Right,
that's back when it was all ego powered,
right.
and the older me knows how to work smarter and not harder. So
The older you knows how to blow differently. Isn't that
that's right.
right?
Yeah,
Isn't
absolutely.
and so you do a show for people that enjoy balloons and balloon animals, and the show's over, and someone comes up to you and says, "Listen, I didn't really like all the different balloon animals you did, and I kinda want my money back." What do you say then?
Well, luckily that hasn't happened ever.
But,
Um,
but what would you do? I mean, listen, I'm not trying to pin you up against the wall, but
well, honestly, and I'll but this a very honest answer. Um, if that ever happens, and I so I would be honest about it. And I know a good show and a not great show, and I know a good piece of balloon art and not a great piece of balloon art, and I want people to be 100% satisfied. And if they're not, if it's a reasonable complaint or issue they're bringing up, then I would cut them a price break or but
right. We could maybe refund him
oh,
something, few quarters or
yeah,
something. I don't know
I
what you
mean,
charge, but
but
and what's not a great piece of balloon art, now that we're on the subject?
well, like some of the balloon animals in my repertoire are better, look better than others. And so if all these kids, like, I'm making all this elaborate stuff, and this kid's getting a space suit, this kid's getting a battle axe, this other kid's getting a jet pack, some butterfly wings, and then this one kid comes and wants to get a snake or something. It's like the birthday kid. Like the birthday kid they go first and they get like a snake.
Right.
And then it turns out everybody else's balloon is way cooler. Like, I get that, dude. I'm
Well, not everybody likes snakes, so
uh, me included. But well,
does it scare
um,
you to make a snake? You make
Doesn't
a balloon?
no, actually, I have a lot of fun with that. I pretend like it's attacking me and stuff. It's fun, I get stupid,
Yeah.
but
You have a lot of fun with your snake.
it's been said. It's out there. Yeah.
And
So like,
I know that you enjoy the exchange of excitement and energy with the crowd, but just as far as technique goes, is there ever a balloon you couldn't turn into something else?
well, there are a lot of balloon animals that I don't know how to make. But it's funny because I've I've become zen with that. I could I go out and learn how to make them? Sure, but I'm really pleased with what I know how to make.
Yeah.
So I could just tell people, no, I don't know how to make that, and I'm really good at coming up with the next best thing. Like I don't know how to make a tiger, but I know how to make a lion, and they're like, okay, something like that.
But you would think a tire would be a lot easier than a lion because it's just round, and a tiger or a lion, any type of cat creature is, they've got the legs, they've got the
There's no
paws.
rhyme or reason to some of these balloons, Willem.
I almost named my dogs Rhyme and Reason, but I didn't see the point. I have an I have another dog called The Point.
I
So, yep,
have
not a lot has changed in any new type of balloons out there, any type of different rubbers or things
they
that are
don't like I said. Well, the last time we spoke, they are notoriously slow to innovate in that field. I mean, in our last interview, we talked about the new shiny, they're super shiny, really nice balloons they're starting to make now as of the last few years.
right, and those are dangerous. Are they health-wise dangerous or what?
I don't think. Well, I don't know. I don't think they're any more dangerous than any of the other balloons. As far as I know, they're all still biodegradable
Yeah,
latex. So
but that's what they said about sparklers.
about what?
Sparklers.
Yeah, and then all these kids getting their hands blown off.
I mean, but even just a sparkler, I mean, if you were to take a sparkler and just rub it onto your skin without lighting it first, it's abrasive, it's a lot like charcoal, and it's probably not healthy.
I wouldn't recommend it. Phosphorus or whatever. I mean, I try to stay away from those things.
What about the environmental waste? Is there environmental waste with all these balloons? I mean, they're made of rubber and then they get thrown into the trash can or what? Or do they get recycled?
Realistically, probably a lot of it ends up just as popped balloon shrapnel on the ground. Um, but like I said, they're insanely biodegradable. Like they are unfortunately biodegradable. I mean, they're so biodegradable. It's frustrating because you get hired to do these gigs out in the summer heat, and you're just minding your own business, and your balloon art is biodegrading. It's literally melting as we're just standing there, and
Oh, it gives out when you don't want it to give out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and especially in the summer, you know, if they hit the ground, they're going to pop. I joke that if you even look at it funny, it's probably going to pop. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Which is ironic because look how funny a balloon.
yeah, you want to look at it, right?
Yeah, balloon
You
animal is, I mean, you look at a balloon animal, it instantly makes you happy and it makes you feel good. Like even a giraffe, which would seem to be a
yeah,
pretty simple one, but the short legs and the long neck.
yeah,
What's it like making a giraffe?
it's fun, and I always like to add accoutrements. So like, like I'll make a giraffe with like holding onto a palm tree, and it's like peeking
Yeah.
out over the top of the palm tree or something. Or I always like to add stuff, so it's not just a balloon dog. It's a balloon dog holding a sword. Now that's cool. It's a
Where do
cat
you,
holding a chain of hearts.
is there a magazine that you read? Where do you get your ideas for different animals and different things like that?
Well, so actually, no, I really don't like to. And you might be like this with acting, but I don't really like to paint my worldview with how other people approach it. I don't want to copy them, and I want them to do their own thing and me to do my thing. And honestly, I balloon animals. Yeah, I make a lot of them, but that's not my specialty. Is with more abstract art. So, like I say, I make these balloons because again, and this ties back into how fragile they are. If so, I've learned over the years, if you make balloons that people can wear, they last a lot longer than balloons that people have to hold because you set it down and it's going to pop. But
Okay,
if you,
but what if you don't set it down? Even if you just hold
yeah,
it?
but you're going to set it down. You're not going to want
But
to. Even the toughest kids are going to want to finally set it down.
yeah, but if you make
No,
a
I
point
tell
not to.
everybody, Willem. I tell everybody, like everybody, as I go, like constant reminders. Don't let your balloons hit the ground. Keep your balloons off the ground. Like, and you could tell 100% of the people keep your balloons off the ground, and 99% of those sons of guns end up popping on the ground anyway. It's like,
Well, it's fun to hear the pop, to be honest with you. I know a lot of work goes into making these animals out of balloons, but the pop is it's more thrilling, really.
well, and this is unrelated, completely unrelated to what I do, of course, but I recently found out that some adults have a balloon popping kink where the a popping balloon like gets them going, like turns them on.
Oh, I was going to ask you about sex parties. Do you ever get requested for sex parties? I mean, you make all these different shapes.
No, that's not my bag. I mean, if you could say it's even close, would just be adult parties, but there's no there's no sex. And I don't really change. I don't change my spiel. I don't really change the balloons when I do adult parties. A lot of people assume that just means you're going to get dirty, foul mouth or whatever. No, I just
Well,
do. I
and
just
there's only I would guess there's only so many combinations you can do with dirty balloons, you know.
there's a couple. I mean, I know a few dirty
Well,
balloons, but it's not honestly. I hardly ever break them out. I don't. You know, I just like
what's your favorite color of balloon?
yellow is my favorite color. I love yellow.
Why is it yellow?
I love. It's a very positive. It's just a happy color. It's a bright, positive, happy color, and that's the vibe I go for. That's what I try to inject into events and bring out of events. Is really liven the event. For being there. And so I love a kid the other day said I asked them what their favorite color was, and they said rainbow. And I love that answer because I love all the colors, and rainbow is probably my new favorite color now too. So
I
credit to that
think,
kid.
as a coalition of colors, as a group of different colors, I think rainbow's maybe the best one, and especially when it comes to donuts, the rainbow sprinkles. I mean, come on, who are we kidding?
Yeah, I'm not a big sweets guy, but yeah, they look awesome.
Oh, they're good. I love donuts, and I eat donuts whenever I get a chance to eat donuts.
Willem, pardon me. I was going to ask you. The last time we spoke, you had just punched the wall and your hand was injured, and I'm wondering
Right.
if that's doing any better. It's been a while, so I presume that it's all healed up.
Well, it's fine for the moment. It comes and goes. I get a bit of a click feeling, and it it can click, but it's not bad. I kind of enjoy it. It's almost like a bit of a toy. So I have
like
I
like
have a toy finger.
you have like a built-in fidget spinner.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I got very angry, obviously, and punched the wall, but I don't usually do such things unless I'm preparing for a role, then maybe I'll do it, but, I don't go
Hey,
out of my way to hurt myself.
so speaking of preparing for a role, so when were you going to tell me you're in Beetlejuice, the remake? When were you going to tell me this?
Well, these are things that happen. It's work. I don't I
I
wasn't,
know, but it's me.
Yeah, I know who you are, Joe Mishkin. You know, I know a lot of people, and
That
I oddly enough know a lot of balloon artists. So
is odd.
yeah, I collect them.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that. The original was a, just a classic, and I'm really glad to hear that you're in the remake. Look forward to it.
Well, I mean, anytime you get a chance to work, I like to work. It's a muscle, and the muscle needs to be worked.
Yeah,
And I enjoy acting. I enjoy the process of acting, and I
yeah.
enjoy working with people and forming a family. It's
Hey,
really
you
nice.
just don't slow down. I don't know your secret.
Well, I just told you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about
Oh,
discipline, but it's not about overdoing it. You want onion rings, have some onion rings,
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite sayings. Everything in moderation, including moderation.
including it's not everything's a habit, but it should be, but it won't.
No.
So it's a parallel, and that parallel deserves respect. And I think it commits itself to, something new. And I think the more you discover, the less you don't know, and the more you learn, the less you will.
Uh, yeah. Absolutely. Yep. I couldn't agree more with that.
So what's next for you in balloons? When's your next balloon gig?
So, okay. So there's been a lot of stuff going on in the backgrounds in Portland. You remember that little bar, that little teeny venue that Ditto Kiddo likes to play at whenever he's in town? Covert Cafe.
Um, yeah, the Covert Cafe. That's right. I heard of something, but you own it now. Is that right?
That's right. So the guy who owned the building sold us everybody that was working there the business, and so it's employee owned now, and so we've been, and this has all just happened. This is and so it's been insanely busy. Just trying to.
What do you attribute that to? Because of the newfound ownership, because there's new energy. What is it that makes it, you think,
Well,
so blossoming at this time?
well, we've been busting our butts to do really cool things like every day, every night we're open, and like we record the shows, we put them on YouTube, and I multi-track record the musicians, I give them the raw audio files. Like we're really there to support performers and artists. And but what I was referring to is more specifically when the deal went down, all of a sudden there's all this other stuff you have to do, business stuff that almost feels like it has nothing to do with the business. It's all more like, oh,
Yeah, but
insurance and bank
I'm
accounts and all this.
well. That's just because you have to do it right now, but it'll all settle
Right.
down.
Yeah, exactly. But it
Once it
hasn't. And
Well,
so
it
it
will. It will, because you can't it hasn't, and it won't, and also the past are all things that don't help you.
right. Well, and so combine that with the fact that, it's also my busy season with my with balloon art, with entertaining, because I do bubbles too now. Did you know that?
Tell
Those
me
big.
more ab Tell me about bubbles. What I would just think it's a round thing and you dip it in the syrup
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
you have like it's those big gigantic freaking bubbles that you see them on the beach a lot, or so I do those now too, and it's probably the most fun I've ever had working. Everybody loves bubbles. They're
well, it's
mesmerizing. They're
a lot of
captivating.
people are named Bubbles, so it's really popular. Tell me
I
more about the bubbles you've made. What's the biggest one and how long do they last?
They don't last long, especially because all the kids like to chase them down and pop them.
Much like the balloons,
Yeah,
the rubber balloons, they like to put them on the ground and pop them.
yeah,
What is because they like the sound, like we talked about earlier. People
yeah.
like that sound, the pop sound.
And they like when the bubbles pop, they turn into this, like, I don't know. It's like really visual. Like they pop, and then there's like this bubble rain, and
It's like an acid trip.
but for a kid.
Right, an acid kid trip. And what different things do you use to blow the bubbles? Have you ever blown a bubble from your own mouth, like from the bubble
So
syrup in your
I
mouth and then
they,
blowing out?
so I have these big they're called bubble wands. So those are like the big sticks you hold, and then you have these different kinds of strings, different shapes of strings that you attach to the end of the wand, and when you dip them, then when you make the bubbles, depending on what the string is, it gets different kind of bubbles. Some of the bubbles, um, so the biggest bubbles you get like one at a time. The smallest bubbles that you can make, you get like thousands of them come out at a time. The
You
big
get more
bubble,
more bang for your buck with the small bubbles, and yet you don't get that huge cataclysmic, much like with the thing that the Hindenburg,
right, right. Oh yeah,
like they want a Hindenburg effect, but they can't get it because, well, they don't have enough money for a big bubble like that, and even if they did, they wouldn't know how to order it,
yeah,
etc.
and it's tricky when you say you get more bang for your buck with the big ones. Not necessarily, because when you make the little ones, you're burning through a lot more bubble juice. You're burning through that those bubbles, Whereas if you're just doing one big one at a time, you're not you're
And
not you.
plus for you, if not everyone is watching it when you're doing a big one, that's what 30 cents maybe out the door from
Yeah, and I
just the bubble liquid.
try not to think about cost per bubble.
Well, it's something you have to think about if you want to think about profits versus ratio versus etc.
You could be onto something there, Willem.
Well, I don't hope so. So, okay, so we talked about balloons, we've talked about bubbles, we've talked about your relationship with the crowd and lounging in Portland. Is there anything else that we should know about?
So it kind of all ties together. Basically, like I said, I've been doing the entertainment thing for actually over 40 years, because I was doing magic shows before I ever blew up my first balloon. So I've
Right.
been entertaining for over 40 years, and I love it. But I'm at the point now where I'm starting to, and this is actually just between you and me. I haven't really, I, it could be bad for business if you're telling everybody this ahead of time, but I'm starting to get into that retirement mindset. Definitely starting to get a lot pickier with how many gigs I do, and kind of backing off a little bit, give the youngsters a chance to make a name for themselves. I've had a wonderful run. It's been awesome. But
Well,
now and I'm doing this, dude, Covert is like, it's like, dude, we own a comedy club, which is the coolest thing ever. Or like it's a music venue. It's all this cool, and I'm super passionate about this. And it's like I look at this new phase, this second act. Whereas for my first act, I'm front of the house. I'm the center of attention. But with the second act, I'm back house, and I'm helping all these talent shine. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But it's not about me in this new second act, and
you know,
I'm really excited about it.
it's crazy because it's not about you, it's not about the balloons, it's
Yeah,
not about the bubbles,
no,
it's about energy. And I think that anytime you have energy, it's a posture. You can take the energy and you can sit up, or you can take the energy and you can sit down.
yeah,
But one way or another, you're going to pay for it because you have to sleep,
yeah.
and you suffer when you sleep, and people often do. So it's commendable that you're working on such a big project and now owners of a bar, which is incredible. That's just
We couldn't be more excited about it. Truly. So that's been my just huge news in my life. It's just it's just it's going to be a real slow transition, but it will happen.
So tell people the address. This is the Covert Cafe. It's in Portland. Is there an address?
Yeah, the address is 803 Southeast 82nd Avenue. It's basically 82nd and Morrison, right on the corner of 82nd and Morrison. And if you blink, you can miss it. It's kind of, you'll find it in the parking lot. There's a convenience store right there at 82nd and Morrison, and we're sort of our entryway is sort of in the parking lot
Yeah,
of the.
it's a convenience store, but it's not that convenient because the door's on the other side.
That's right. Yeah, you got to walk around the sidewalk.
You know,
It's
I
kind of an
and
inconvenient store.
it's great though. They have a Tillamook ice cream. I was there yesterday. I was there last night. I saw you at and we
What?
had I had the I saw you. I didn't want to say anything, but
What?
I got the grilled cheese with the bacon jam.
You were at
It was
Covert,
I was there I just picked up the bacon jam grilled cheese and then I left. I
and
didn't have
that just goes to tell you, I truly am in the back house now, dude. I didn't know you were there.
That's because I left right away. I didn't bother anybody. And just the show was going, and they just, to be perfectly honest with you, I just wanted to eat the
Yeah,
grilled
and
cheese.
I know you don't. Well, you get bothered all the time by people, but dude, we go way back. I mean, dude, please, next time you're there, please let me know. Just you're not bothering anybody.
I'd love to see you again. So we've got that. You want to say your Instagram or promote anything else? Or
Nah.
okay,
Well, actually, yeah. Check out the new Covert YouTube. It's at Covert Cafe on YouTube, or Covert Cafe Presents. And like
great.
I said, and that's been taking a lot of work because, well, we record the shows. Now you got to edit them, upload, download,
This is,
sideload.
and I don't know if you've considered getting a YouTube page, but it's very helpful, and you can make money, and it's easy. And have you thought about that?
What YouTube? Yeah, well, so we have YouTube. Did you mean something else?
Do you have your own YouTube page for the Covert Cafe?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah. It's at Covert Cafe, not
great.
Cavort. Whatever I was gonna say, Cavort Jose.
Well, you could Covert Jose all you want, but he's not returning my phone calls. So, so we're gonna let you go, and it's just great to talk to you. And it's the Covert Cafe, Portland, Oregon, the Jeff Richards Show. Thank you for letting me host, Jeff. I appreciate it. This was so much fun, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Willem.
Okay, bye bye.